Hi guys, this is Becky from Mini Mosaic Acre, and we have a springtime activity that we'd like to share with you all. We keep Italian honeybees, and we absolutely love them because they're very gentle, and our kids are able to just walk past them. The animals, we're not worried about them being aggressive or anybody getting stung, unless of course you step on them or something. But one of the negative qualities about them can be that they're more prone to swarming. So each spring about this time, we're always very alert watching to see if any have swarmed. And so usually one of our kids will come running in, hey, their bees have swarmed, which mean that the hive is dividing itself. There's been a new queen that has been laid. The new queen stays behind in the hive, and then the old queen will leave and go find a new place to have a hive because she's more established. And alongside her, that means that a lot of the worker bees will get themselves around, group around them and around the queen to protect her. And so anytime you see something like this, you may be alarmed, but they're actually very docile in this scenario. So we will, I say we, it's not ever me. I don't do bees, I do other things. My hubby and the kids do the bees. Will catch the swarm and then stick them in another bee box, and then it just gives us another hive of bees. So my husband and 13-year-old daughter Anna are getting all ready to capture this swarm of bees, and I thought you might like to see what's going on or what it looks like to capture a swarm of bees. So I'm going to turn the camera around here and show you what a swarm of bees looks like. Okay, so these are empty bee boxes that we're cleaning and repairing. The hive that they swarmed from is behind me. But let's see, I'm gonna zoom in here closer. Okay, can you see the bees to the left? So the swarm, let's see if let's see, right there. This is the swarm. So that's a cluster of bees. There's one single bee that's in the center of them all, who is the queen, and all the rest of the bees are protecting her. If you look over here to the left, like you can see, like right here in the branches, between these branches in the sunlight, there's a lot of bees swarming all over the place. So in a situation of a swarm, usually there are worker bees who have gone out ahead and they're scouting out. They're trying to find a good place for a new hive. And so the other bees that are surrounding the queen, they are just protecting her until the bees find a good place. Once the bees find a good place, then this entire swarm of bees it's pretty majestic to watch actually, but the entire swarm of bees will take off in a cloud of bees and head to their new home. I have no bee suit on, as you saw earlier, but I'm not really concerned about getting stung because they're typically extremely docile in this scenario because their sole job is to protect the queen. So I'm just going to scooch forward and see if I can get a better picture of these girls for you. My husband just went up behind me and pinched my leg to scare me. You see, our house is full of a bunch of jokers. This is not, from what I'm seeing on the camera, it's not as good as what I would like for you to be able to see. My camera's not, it's trying to focus on other things. There you go. You see them coming and going. I'm pretty close, like I could reach up and touch this if I wanted. All right, so I'm gonna back up and pause this until Aaron and the kid, are you ready?
Yeah, I just need to check this box.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause this and I'm going to come back on here whenever he's ready to start capturing the swarm. Okay, so right now, Aaron and Anna are going through each one of the frames, and they're taking out the frames that have already been drawn out with comb previously, and they're brushing them clean of debris very quickly, and then they're just going to slide them back in there to make sure that the hives are that the hive is ready for the bees. So Anna started keeping bees with Aaron. Was it last year or the year before last?
Year before.
So this is year 3. Before Anna was Isaiah. Isaiah bought a few hives of his own, and then whenever he moved out and got his own place, he sold the hives, and it's just a fun experience to be able to learn how to keep bees. It's also a nice little return if you ever need to sell the entire hives. Anna, do you like keeping bees? Do you not like keeping bees? Or I guess I should say, what do you like about keeping bees?
I like watching them, and I don't like the heat.
Oh, it gets really hot inside of those?
But I like doing it with Dad, and I like watching it and like stuff.
You like watching it and hanging out with your dad? Those are
Yeah,
definitely,
I like to learn it.
you like to learn about them.
Do it.
I like to eat the honey.
I'll let you have that.
I like harvesting people.
I like harvesting it. Oh, the kids love harvesting honey because Dad lets them eat a bunch of honeycomb until they get tummy aches. Because he's cool like that. Okay, Aaron, why did you leave that gap right there in the center?
Well, my plan is to saw this limb off and then very carefully set the entire limb in this gap.
Okay.
And most likely they'll smell the wax and stuff like that and realize, hey, this is a lot better house than in that windy tree.
Okay.
And they'll just start migrating into the rest of the hive.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see if that works.
The trick is sawing the limb without shaking it too much.
Without shaking. So he said, I don't know if you heard that. He says the trick is sawing the limb without shaking him too much. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in, and I'm stepping away because this is, I'm not wearing a bee suit, and these two are. Once he starts sawing at that log, more bees are going to come off. Because their job is to protect the queen. Let's see if I can get a better angle from you. Nope, that was not a better angle. So last year, unfortunately, we lost some of our hives because it was actually my fault. I let the kuni pigs graze in the same area as the hives are kept, and on one of the really cold snaps, the pigs were just, being pigs and going around, and they accidentally knocked, well, you can see right here, do you see how this one's knocked off kilter? That's kind of what they did. Anyway, unfortunately, it lets cold air in, and they cannot stay warm when their hives are not put together properly, and they froze and died. And so we learned a very important homesteading lesson. It seems like those lessons that you learn that really stick with you, that keep you from making the same mistake over and over again, are the ones that are more costly in emotion and finances. And so we learned that it was very important to make sure that no other livestock is near your beehives. A dear friend of ours that actually got us started in beekeeping years and years ago, they had the same thing happen with some of their cattle, I believe. And it's just devastating when you put so much time and energy and work in, and then there's such a huge loss. So anyway, this year that was my bad. The year before that, we lost some hives. I can't remember exactly what they're calling it. I think it's called fail. Aaron, what is it called when we lost a few hives back a year or two ago? Oh yes. Okay, thank you. Colony collapse syndrome, and I'm not sure that they actually have 100% of the answers as to what that exact that is caused from, but I know there are some ideas about it being possibly from from spray, from crops being sprayed, possibly from just home gardeners spraying insecticides, and then bees travel for up to a mile, and then Aaron, is it a mile that bees travel? Two, I'm sorry, up to 2 miles. And then, we'll be pollinating and then bring those back to their hives. So if you know that you have beekeepers within 2 miles of you, it is very helpful if you're going to spray any kind of insecticide, to contact them and to let them know, because they have the ability, like say the day before you spray, if you contact them, they can cover their hives with sheets to prevent their bees from getting out the next morning when the sun comes up. And they can keep them covered for a few days before letting them out, and then it will prevent a possible enormous loss in hives. This right here, just a swarm, is several pounds of bees. Aaron, how many pounds of bees do you think that is? Like 3 pounds, 5 pounds?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Like, do you think that's like 5 pounds of bees?
Probably closer to 3.
3 pounds of bees? That's a lot of bees, an entire
I'll show you something cool.
hive's full. Okay.
So if you look at all these bees, get a close-up of them, you can see how they're like really motoring their wings. They're fanning the queen's pheromone so other bees know where they're at.
That's pretty cool.
This one here's got some pollen on his legs.
Oh, you can see it. You see the yellow on this guy, right? Let's see if my finger can. Yeah, he's pointing at it. He has pollen sacs on there.
This one over here's got some too. Not very much, but
Yeah, they're just incredible. And for all of you amazing customers that come out to our farm and get honey, these are the little insect workers, and then the big human workers that provide it for you. This aspect of homesteading I have never participated in fully. We all have our own little thing, but I have a lot of respect for beekeepers. It's a lot of work, and I know that the benefits in my garden and my orchard and my brambles, that they do a lot better because of our bees. So this one is not on, a lot of times they'll just be on one limb, on one singular limb. Hey Anna, can you go get the clippers so that he can just clip it off? So usually it's on one bigger limb that you can saw off with a limb saw. This happens to be on several different limbs that are together. They've kind of just made a cluster around several branches that come together. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get them all off.
it's a little bit challenging because you got to plan a route to get it down, and that big limb was right in the way.
So I don't know if you can hear him or not, so I'm just, I'm going to repeat what he said. He says it's a little challenging sometimes. Sometimes you have to remove things out of the way because you have to plan for how to get to the bees in the least disruptive way.
Take that. Ready?
If I run, it's because they're going crazy and I don't want to get stung. Honey, I think you're going to need to clip the other branches above it with the clippers. And gift Dad the clippers. Because they're holding it all together, Aaron. Oh my goodness, did you guys just see that? I don't know if you saw it.
That's why I put that knife there.
Hurry, Anna, take the clippers to Daddy. Can she clip it for you? Tell her where.
I'm going to hand you this limb.
Oh. Dad's going to hand her the limb. are swarming around me now, and I'm wearing short sleeves. But this is why, any of you who have talked to me about bees, this is why I always recommend the Italians. I just love them because they don't scare me. So there goes one small part of the cluster. Deanna took care of that. I think, so there's several limbs here. I don't know if you can see. There's several limbs that form the entire cluster, and we don't know which of those has the queen on it, so. Every little thing that touches me freaks me out, makes me think it's a bee. Oh, hold on, hon. I'm gonna. Oh, he already shook it in. I'm gonna sit. Let's see if I can. Maybe you can see better from over here. Oh my goodness, can you hear them? They are so loud. This is usually how we can tell if a swarm is taking place, because this is also what they sound like when they're getting ready to swarm before they have found a new location. And it all happens pretty quickly. But we're outside all the time during this season, and so we can usually hear them, and we've memorized the sound, and once we hear it, we take off looking. Oop. I just had one land on my arm. They're buzzing all over here. Let's see if I can just put my phone up if you can see them buzzing over my head. Do you see those little black things? Let's see. They're like, they're everywhere. You can't really see it. They're all over the place. I really like how this teaches teamwork, good communication. It's a fabulous skill to pass on to your children. It's one of the things I love about homesteading. Whoa, did you just see all those fall? Again, hopefully none of those were the queen. So he just shakes them into the hive. If the queen falls into the hive, the other bees will settle in there with her, because their goal is to protect that queen. So if the queen gets in there, then we've accomplished our task. Now, if the bee is not in there, then all of the bees will once again settle to a new place around wherever that queen is. And then you try again. I don't know that we've ever had more than 2 tries, though. Either we've got them or they've taken off. Anna, if only you were a foot taller, huh? So if it falls, the goal is to make sure the bees land there, so you have to pull the limb a little. Okay? Oh, good. Good teamwork, guys. That is a lot of bees. Look at that, guys. Look. He's getting stung, but he doesn't feel it because he's wearing his suit. Once the bees, it's really interesting because honeybees, whenever they sting, they produce a pheromone that smells like kind of like bananas, and it alerts the other bees that to come help them out, and so then more bees come to you and start stinging. Which, as long as you're wearing a bee suit, is a-okay, but he will usually get stung in a glove. Sometimes, honestly, like around the face shields, that will happen. bee suits are really important. I know people do them without any suits, but I don't know. It just seems so much easier to put those suits on and not think about it. All right. So the hope is that the queen's in there. So we'll wait about 10 minutes and then we'll see if they're still there. If they're still there, then that means that we successfully captured the queen and the hive is going to be successful and stay. If they if they go somewhere else and they swarm again, then we will know we did not capture the queen and we must try again. I'm going to pause this video and then we'll come right back as soon as we've determined whether we got the swarm or not. Okay, welcome back. So Anna and Aaron have said that they are pretty certain that the queen was captured. There were clusters of bees that were on the ground and none of them are still on the ground, and they've moved up to the hive. They're all moving, like you can see them move. Here, Aaron, you want to hold my phone up close so that you can see them better? I don't want to go over there and get stung. You can barely see.
They're completely unaggressive right now because they're focused on finding the queen and letting everybody know where she is, and they're fanning that pheromone that she puts out. Fanning it so everybody knows where she's at. And then after a while they'll just slowly all march right into that hive. Some of them spilled on the ground, a big chunk spilled on the ground back here, and they've already gone up off the ground and onto the back of the hive. And several were down here on the ground, and they're coming up, they're crawling up the legs. Just march in there.
Okay, well, that is what we do here at Mini Mosaic Acre in the spring when we have a bee swarm. I hope that you enjoyed it and it helped you if you're keeping bees or just beginning your journey, or if you were just interested as to where your honey comes from. Thank you, Anna and Aaron, for providing all of our honey for us here at Mini Mosaic Acre. We are very grateful. If you enjoyed watching this video and if you would like to see more of what we do here on the homestead, then just hit the like button below, follow us. We would love for you to come along this journey with us. This is Becky at Mini Mosaic Acre.